while most world leaders turn a blind eye to a sad and unfortunate reality. Christian persecution still continues worldwide. When the North Korean government stated on Saturday it was entering a state of war with South Korea, a large number of refugees, mostly Christians, once again began fleeing across Chinese border in hopes of avoiding more suffering and starvation from the hardline communist regime. But even though Christians can be found fleeing to China in hopes to escape persecution, they are in actuality running into another persecution hotspot. China's government is engaged in a three-phase campaign to eradicate Protestant house churches. In 2013, Christians continued to be persecuted in the Middle East, Asia and Africa through church attacks, blasphemy accusations and murders. Meanwhile, an Egyptian mosque is turned into a house of torture for Christians after a Muslim Brotherhood protest. February the 13th, 2013. A gruesome double murder mystery in New Jersey unravels. The victims are reportedly Egyptian Coptic Christians from Jersey City, but their remains were found buried in a town southwest of Philadelphia. The accused Muslim killer shot and killed the victims, severed their heads and hands, and buried them in a backyard, all because of their Christian faith.
And in Egypt, a court has sentenced a Christian family to 15 years in prison for converting from Islam. An Egyptian newspaper reports a woman and her 7 children were sentenced last week under the Muslim Brotherhood regime. The new leadership even targeted the clerks who processed the family's new identity cards. Alarmed human rights advocates say it's a sign of things to come. Hudson Institute Center for Religious Freedom calls Egypt's new Sharia-based constitution, quote, a real disaster for religious freedom there.
On March the 17th, 2013, a Vietnamese church leader reportedly died in police custody after being severely beaten and possibly electrocuted. Also, news reports surfaced out of Saudi Arabia that raised the red flag for Christian, as Saudi Arabia declares destruction of all churches in region. March the 28th, 2013, another Christian has died while in detention in Eritrea. Sources reporting the death indicated that about 45 other believers are held in horrendous circumstances in dungeon-like cells at Allah. They are enduring severe military punishment because they are unwilling to stop their Protestant religious practice. March the 27th, 2013. Muslims tore down the barely finished walls of the Batak Protestant church near Jakarta, Indonesia. The pile of rubble that remained was only the latest setback to Christians trying to retain a toehold in the world's most populous Muslim country. On March the 26th, radical Islamist tortures and beats an American pastor beyond recognition in Iran.
Evin prison is one of the most brutal in Iran, and Naghmeh Abedini wants her husband out of it. Now that Pastor Saeed has been sentenced to 8 years in prison, Naghmeh will no longer be able to speak to him by phone, and she and her children live in the U.S. Naghmeh told CBN News that she's focusing her attention on fighting for his release.
We condemn Iran's continued violation of the universal right of freedom of religion, and we call on the Iranian authorities to release Mr. Abedini.
What crime are these Christians accused of?
Well, actually, they are not officially accused of anything. They haven't been given official charges at all. They have kept in prison sometimes for months at a time.
And David, we know that when Ahmadinejad came to power in 2005, he said that he will stamp out Christianity in Iran. So this has been an ongoing thing ever since he came to power.
March the 25th. A car bomb attack on Christians heightens religions tensions in Nigeria. Anti-conversion laws are on the books of 5 states and in pockets of the country nationalist Hindus of India, who routinely confront and beat Christians with accusations that they are attempting to forcibly convert Hindus to Christianity. March the 21st, the pastor of a church in Tanzania was killed when intervening in an attack by Muslim youths who routinely target Christian pastors. St. John 15:18 and 19. If the world hate you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you. If ye were of the world would love his own, but because ye are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hates you. 2 Timothy 3:12. Yea, and all that will live godly in Christ Jesus shall suffer persecution. John 16:2. They shall put you out of the synagogues, yea, the time cometh, that whosoever kills you will think that he doeth God service. 2 Corinthians 4:11. For we which live are always delivered unto death for Jesus' sake, that the life also of Jesus might be made manifest in our mortal flesh. Matthew 5:11 and 12. Blessed are ye, when men shall revile you, and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely, for my sake. Rejoice, and be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward in heaven, for so persecuted they the prophets which were before you.